This position is going to go over a way to progress getting into a cross leg or lateral / posterior hip stretch. This is really good for someone who has a lot of pain tightness, especially into the groin. I found this to be a very useful way to gradually progress into this position, hopefully without irritating the front of the hip. So I'm going to go from very gentle to more challenging, working the leg across. So starting off on the back is definitely the way to go at first. So laying down here on the floor or on a bed, if my problematic hip is my left hip, beginning I'm going to lay down with my knee bent, and I'm just going to do a small oscillation. So this is just the very beginning of starting to take my hip through some rotation. It's very gentle. I can go through a small range of motion. So let's say I go out to the side slow and I start to feel some pinching or catching or something uncomfortable on the front of my hip. Well, I find that point, and then maybe I find the same point this way, and I might say, oh yeah, in my groin, right? So I try and find a window between those 2 points that I do this gentle wiggle of my hip. So very light oscillation through some rotation, nothing very severe. I can play around with my knee bend if it is more comfortable with a little less knee bend. I can do it there. So I'm really looking for whatever range gives me the most motion with the least amount of pain, right? Now to go from there, I'm going to elevate my foot. So if I lay down on my back, my foot up on a chair, I'm going to go through the same idea, just a small oscillation, same concept, trying to stay short of any groin pain. I could back off into a little less hip flexion to make this a little bit more comfortable. And if I want to start to get my leg eventually to this position, I can start from being just straight on the chair to doing the same concept with my foot a little bit further across on that couch or chair. And I'm doing the same gentle wiggle just to feel a little bit of motion but no significant pain. And I'm always staying short of the groin pain. So, I'm not going to progress through this right away, but very gradually seeing if I can get across that chair or across the couch to where maybe I can start to feel like I can get my foot close to being able to rest on this opposite knee. Same thing, once again, a small oscillation. So this is just a nice gradual progression to get that leg eventually across. I really want to make sure I'm not feeling much pressure or pain in the groin. And as I'm getting to here, the more this opposite knee is bent, obviously the more my leg is up towards me, right? So I may start with that knee a little further away, and then once again, if I'm able to, that knee would come closer. And then if this is all going fine, then I would eventually progress to that hand coming across to the knee. And I may start off with a little bit of light, the knee pushing into my hand, seeing if I can not feel my groin and feel my glute activate. If that's going well, I can start to see if I can bring that knee a little further up and across. The big thing that's always going to stop me is going to be if I feel it in the front of my hip or my groin. So if I feel it in the hip or my groin here, I'm going to back off to where I don't feel it. Or if I still feel it in my groin, well, I'm going to bend my knee a little less. If I still feel it in my groin, well, I'm going to go back to this edge of the chair. Always trying to remain short of feeling groin and hopefully feeling more and more of a sensation in the lateral or posterior aspect of my hip.